From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, Super Mario Party Jamboree is out now. And has the info about that secret online thing officially leaked?
New couch, who dis?
Welcome to NintenDomain.
Like where you put dents on things?
Nintendo
that's the
freshness.
pinball company.
Nintendo fresh and full of life. Nintendo, the game maker.
Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 444, 3 4s. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey Pro Partier Johnson.
I'm Jeremy Demo Do-Over Mikowski.
I'm John Pinball and Knitter.
And let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games that we got and games that we've been playing. I saw on the Slack that you had made it through the Ease 10 demo. Jeremy did.
I did. That's really about.
What did you think?
That's the big chunk of what I did this week, game-wise. I loved it. I want to play it again.
It's great, right? It's a very good demo, and the game is.
I want to keep playing
good.
it. It's hard. I do like that it lets you.
Did you have any issues with any of the bosses? There's the first.
Oh yeah.
I think the first boss that you fight. That ends up, I mean, there's this kind of a spoiler as to, like, who the boss is. But, like, you're, like, in this cave and you fight this big... It's that guy that, like, chases you through the village.
Yes, that's the guy. That's the one that
I got stuck.
Had me fucked up.
I got stuck on that guy. And I also did... I think I know what you're going to mention. I did the thing where you just...
You can lower the difficulty.
Yeah, I lowered the difficulty for him.
I had to do it a couple of times.
Because I had lost to him, like, a couple times. And I was streaming it, too. And I was like, I really want to...
I can't... The one thing I don't like... I wish... Maybe there eventually will be a way to counter it, but damn, do I hate that they like just keep regenerating their shield over and over again.
Oh yeah, because you have to like stun them with the shield thing. That's kind of new. Like I don't remember that being in the other Ease games that I've played.
It turns them into these crazy sponges.
But it's been in plenty of other games that I played. Like there's a whole lot of that in the Xenoblade games where you gotta you gotta knock a lot of the guys over before you can actually do damage. Like so you have to do like a certain amount of combos or whatever before you get to that. So yeah, there's that. And I thought that dodging was a little bit weirder on 10. Like it wasn't as easy as it was on 9 or 8 or 9. Where 8 or 9 you kind of just hit the roll button, and then you do like the witch time dodge like you would in Bayonetta, and then everything kind of slows down. And I thought that was harder to do in 10. Like I couldn't quite figure out how to do it, I guess, while I was doing it. But yeah, you made it through. You made it through to the end, and I was actually what was your time on it? What was your time count when you got to the end of it?
Let me see.
I mean, it'll tell you on the game whenever you beat it, whenever it goes to like the buy the game or whatever, or it'll show, or I guess I'll show you on your info too. I was just curious because it was I clocked in like right at 6.5 hours. I think it was like 6:29 or something like that, like 6:29 and some seconds on there. So it was pretty close. But I last week I talked about being nervous about my Amazon, how I ordered the physical copy of this game. And now Amazon is telling me that I won't get it until next week. So that kind of sucks because it's supposed to be out on Friday, and that's why I don't get physical games, is I don't like waiting on them. So, because I didn't expect. I've never done a pre-order thing on Amazon, and I've seen people like get it early or whatever. I think they're lying. I think they stole it from somewhere. I don't think they actually got it early. But yeah, I was like, oh well, maybe I'll get it early, but. Now it says that I won't get it till the 30th, and it comes out on the 25th. So maybe next week I'll do like a opening of it on the show. But that kind of sucks that I got to wait. But now I can. Now I have more time to play other games, I guess.
When does it drop? Is it out yet?
It's out on Friday. It comes out on Friday,
okay.
The 25th. That's what I'm saying. I'm bummed out that I'm not getting my physical version until the 30th, so I have to wait. I have to wait till next week to play it. Originally, I was like, oh, I can just buy it again and have it sealed, but I don't have that kind of money. Can't be, especially with like, all this like this 3-hit combo of Nintendo games. Like we got like Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party, and Mario and Luigi like a couple weeks apart from each other. It's kind of unfair. And it's like 2 weeks in a row we have Mario and Luigi. Well, 3 weeks in a row you have Ys 10. What is it like? Ys 10, Mario and Luigi, and Dragon Quest 3 like back to back, and they're all like $60 games. It's not fair. There's too many good games this year.
Plus Yakuza, Clock Tower's coming out at the end of the month.
Well, yeah, Yakuza is supposed to come out tonight, which I did. I did preload it already because it's huge. It's like a 22 gig file. So
yeah, I hit the dreaded limit, and I had to delete some things. I had to go delete a bunch of demos and stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering if you finally made it to the limit of your card, because
I'm right there. I mean, I pretty much.
We both have the terabyte, right?
Yeah, I got a terabyte. I think they have 1.5 terabyte cards now, so maybe I got to get one of those. But yeah, I don't know. I'm right there.
They're so expensive still. Like I bought a terabyte card a few years ago, and I maxed it out right when I got it. Just because I had a bunch of shit on there, and it's always been like
download crazy on being able to have everything on there again.
Yeah, I tried to download everything, and I maxed it out pretty quickly. But basically, yeah, I knew that I had to move some stuff around for the Yakuza release, but I just basically went into my folders. I went into like my sealed folders, like stuff I've never played, and I just looked and be like, all right, am I actually going to play this one anytime soon? No. So I just kind of went by game and just started like archiving a bunch of them. I did the same. I went to like folders of stuff that I know I'm not going to play anytime soon. Like, yeah, my sealed folder, I went to like my October games folder, and I was like, which one of these games am I going to not play? I'm sure some of these have some gigs to them. And I kind of went through and archived a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't that hard to get to 22. So it's much easier than trying to do like where it has you like look through all of them and by file size, and I don't know. I feel like I can never find the right one or whatever. That's always
I usually just just try to get rid of one big game or whatever if I have to, and then I don't have to worry about deleting a bunch of small files.
There's big ones that I'm still like holding on to on there, like
but it's always
like Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers and like Monster Hunter and stuff like that are all really pretty big downloads.
Yeah, I took Rise off mine a while ago.
Or like Mortal Kombat 1 is a huge one too. But I still play that occasionally. I mean, I haven't played it recently, but did you find your time for Ys 10? I did not making chit chat for it. It's okay. I'm guessing, like I said, mine was at 6.5, so I imagined yours is about the same.
It won't tell the time yet on my thingy.
If you like load it should be in the menu, right? Or can you not load it?
I actually did play the demo. Played
10 minutes.
Pretty much through the opening. Like they got to the bar, and I don't know. I felt like there was a whole lot of dialogue all throughout there. I was just like hitting through the dialogue, and
I mean, it is an RPG. I mean, it's an action RPG. It does start off slow. I'll give it that. And I've actually played. I had played through the beginning part before on the Japanese version, and it was all in Japanese, so I didn't know what was happening. But it does pick up pretty quickly. It picked up a lot quicker than I thought. Like I did at first, it felt a little slow, but there's a lot of shit happens. Like it's not really what you expect. There's a lot of twists and turns and all that. I was going to say, be ready for Yakuza, because Yakuza's going to have a shit ton of dialogue too at the beginning of it. That's just how these story-based games go. Like you're probably going to have to deal with like 20 minutes of cinema or whatever on Yakuza before you actually get to doing anything. And maybe more than that
tonight, and then get to the action part and cut it off till morning.
Maybe more than that. I mean, I was gonna stream it. I was gonna stream like a couple hours of it to see, because I don't remember. Well, I remember how the original one started, like the PlayStation 2 one, but I don't remember how the remake starts. But like I don't see, there's like no info out there right now as to like how it runs on the Switch or whatever. So I thought I'd try to
find out in a few hours.
Try to get a video out for that, because I got some decent traffic on my Mario Party and Ys 10 videos that I made.
I did just find it. It said I played 9 hours and 31 minutes.
Whoa.
I don't know.
You got 3 more hours than I did.
I don't know how that happened.
I think it's just, it just ends when you get to that boss at whatever part of 3. And I don't know. I was kind of trying to race through it towards the end part because it was, because I was like, all right, well, let's just follow the stories. But I can imagine you can stretch it out. I saw people stretching it out to like 15 hours or something like that to do all the extra stuff. I remember there was this guy that would come to the bar when I worked at the Owl, and we were talking about the Dragon Quest XI demo, and he said he put like 20 hours into it, just running around trying to max out all of his characters and find all the items that were in there and all that. So, I mean, if they end at like a certain event, you can always go and do more stuff with it. But you like it, right? How do you? I
do.
Yeah. I mean, I figured you probably wouldn't get it like at full price, but I'm sure you're interested in playing it whenever it comes out.
I'm thinking, I'll probably end up wanting to get Brothership more than this, even though I think that there's a good chance I might like this better. It's just scratching the right itch for me. It's like a nice, bright, actiony RPG. I like it. It's fun. Story's pretty good.
It's really fast paced. The characters are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There is social links in it, actually. I remember last week I said there wasn't, but they totally are there.
I've gotten a couple of those.
They're kind of hidden. I mean, it's not as in your face as like Persona and Metaphor and all that stuff. But I was playing. I started playing Ys 9. After I made it through the Ys 10 demo and trying to beat that, and it was like I was way late to it. But you can give gifts to you find gifts and you can give them to your party members. And that will like upgrade their moves and stuff like that you can do like cooperatively. So it is similar to Persona in that way, but it's not like
Stardew Valley.
But it's not like spending a certain amount of time with them that upgrades whatever. But it is in there.
Yeah, see, I don't think it has much to do with your dialogue choices either, because
no, I don't think
you
I don't
just
think it
skip
says
entire
anything about
sections
that.
of dialogue if you want to.
I think it in the demo it said something about giving presents and all that, but I think you only really build. I guess you could probably build social links with your like ship crew that you collect, because you get to recruit people to like help out on your ship and all that. But it's only 2 characters. It's just you and whatever her name is, Farja or Karja. Where normally in the past 2 Ys games there was like 6 or 7 characters that you could alternate between. I think 9 has 6 that you have total. So,
well, they give you like a teaser video too. Do they, or no? That's Metaphor that does that.
No, there wasn't a video. There was
I'm
just
getting
a
the 2
picture.
confused because they're very similar, and I played them one after the other.
Well, what I was going to propose on your situation. Well, I don't know what your budget is, but I was going to say, like, if you're thinking about getting Metaphor, like that's like $70. You could just spend like $30 extra and pay $100 and get a couple vouchers, and you could get Echoes of Wisdom and Brothership for $100 for $50 each.
I think I found someone to loan me Echoes.
Oh yeah,
I might be borrowing it.
So you found somebody with a physical copy.
Yeah,
that was my suggestion. I was like, you could get 2 games for less on that, that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, I say stick with the demo. I mean, it's all these games have like really, really long intros to them. But once you get to the actual action part of it, I think it's pretty cool. And the story does move pretty quickly. And there is a lot of, as I said last week, there's a lot of twists and turns. And you saw it. You played through all of it, Jeremy, so
Mm-hmm.
Like about a lot of shit happens. And there were a lot of things I didn't expect. I thought it was going to go a different way. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that happened. And then there's another thing that happens. And it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I thought it was like it felt really fast paced. Like I didn't really feel like there's a whole lot of filler in it. So that's always good. But yeah, I'm excited to play it, but I guess since it's coming 5 days late, I'll at least have some more time to fuck around with Yakuza and try to get through Ys 9, which I'm pretty close, I think. I mean, there's only like one more chapter. Like I'm in the second to last chapter of Ys 9. And it says I put like 40 some hours in there. So yeah. But that's what I've been playing aside from the other stuff. Is there anything else you want to say about Ys 10? I guess since we just kind of went right into that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. In general, I like it a lot. I think the battle system's kind of complicated, but maybe if I played more Ys games, it wouldn't feel that way. But once they give you the dual abilities, that's all I use.
The cool thing, the big thing about Ys, and this is the same in 10 as it is in 8 and 9, which I think is really, really cool, is in order for you to like level up your abilities, you have to use them, and that's how it works. Like, so if you have like one ability that you like using, that'll be the one that's the strongest because you use it the most. Which I always thought that was a cool thing in 8 and 9. So if you like You know, like when you hold R and you press like X, Y, B, A or whatever.
Right.
Whatever, you know, if you want to like upgrade that, you have to use it a certain amount of time. I think in 10 it has like where you master it, like you'll get like 100% on one thing, and then you'll get a stronger version of it that you can equip after that. So that's kind of how it works in the other ones, except for in the other ones you just level them up whenever you use a certain amount of time. But that's cool because there's one thing that you like, you can just focus on just upgrading that, you know, then other than other things and making that strong. So that's kind of how it works, and I always like that. I always like that part of it.
But one thing I wanted to say is that I enjoyed it so much that I flipped over to my PS5 and I was like, I wonder if the demo is here too, and it was.
Oh yeah, I think it's it's
and
everywhere.
Oh my god, does it run so much better?
Yeah, it does run pretty. It does run pretty well on Switch though.
It runs well on the Switch.
It's
like
just
it was definitely
less
playable,
load time, I'm sure.
But I found even just everything about it just ran smoother on the PS5 version, and graphically it wasn't exactly like blowing my mind. I'm sure if I looked at them side by side, maybe there would be a difference, but I don't have any like graphical complaints. The only thing I have is load times, and then just like kind of the smoothness of the interface, because I think it's a lower frame rate on the Switch, so it makes like, I don't know, most of this you're using targeting, but I just felt like the controls felt more precise on the PS5 because the frame rate was higher. And so I don't know, if I do buy it, I might end up getting it on the PS5.
Yeah,
Since it seems to be, it's probably a superior version. And it's, if I don't though, if I do that, rather, I'm going to lose all my progress on the Switch version. So maybe I won't. I don't know. I've got some time to think about it because I might just play through the demo again on the PS5 and then I can decide.
it's true. I mean, I know the game. I said it last week. The game was originally developed for Switch, so it was optimized for PS5. You know, so
okay.
That's why it doesn't look that much. It wasn't made for PS5. It was made for Switch, and then they built it for the ground up for that, and then for other systems you can just add extra bells and whistles to it or whatever. You know, give it higher frame rate and less loading or whatever. Even though I thought it was 60 for the most part on the Switch version, because like I said, they developed for it. It runs better than the other ones did. Not that they ran that well. 9 was kind of a little hitchy, but 8 ran pretty well for the most part.
Well, I mean, it could also just be I was more familiar with controls and stuff by then, but I just kept skipping over the giant like cutscene parts and stuff, and I'm already like halfway through chapter 2 because I just like skipped so much of it.
Yeah, you could probably get through it quicker. You might be able to get through the demo in like 4 hours if you. I mean, now that you know where to go and you can skip a lot of the dialogue.
It's cool though.
But you could answer questions in different ways and see how people react to you. I
definitely like I definitely like having an RPG in my life, and I have other ones I could play. So if I can't buy this, then I might switch back over to something else.
Like I said, there's a lot of big RPGs. They always drop the big RPGs like around this time in like November and December, because like I said, you got this and Mario and Luigi and Dragon Quest 3, like just one after another. Not to mention even the other ones that I'm not playing, like Romancing Saga 2 and Metaphor and whatever else. So lots of shit to play on there. I mean, you could run through the rest of your stuff if you want, since we're already kind of talking.
Sure, I don't really have a lot to say. I've gone back to Balatro and Peglin this week. Balatro because I just felt like going back to it. So I probably played an hour of that this week, and then Peglin I just like to play on my lunch break at work. So as a mobile game, it just continues to be enjoyable, and I had enough of a break from it that I've gone back to it. I'm having fun again. But I'm on level 9 of the Crucible, so I've been stuck on that for over a month now. I think it's pretty hard at level 9. There's a lot of you cause yourself a lot of self damage, and if you don't pay attention to it, then you're just gonna like die and not even know why at first. So that kind of sucks, but that's just the particular challenge for Crucible 9.
Doesn't your like stuff hurt you more too? Your attacks like self damage you more.
Right. The self damage. That's what I'm saying.
It seems like
a lot more self damage.
Yeah.
In 9, and then like any of the red bombs, like you have a bunch of like upgrades you can do where you can add the red bombs, and they help out a lot for wiping out enemies. But you don't want to use the red bombs in this version because they'll kill you really fast.
Because they hurt you.
because it's in particular those bombs have like a boost in how much damage they give you. So yeah, it's kind of like that's the handicap or whatever for that mode, but it's still fun. I still play it. But I got a new couch, or we got a new couch, and we've had the same.
Does
couch
it have a cooler in it? Can you keep
No
beers in it?
It's not that cool. It's just a couch, but it's really, really comfortable. Like,
Does it
Good.
does it go up and down? Is it a
no,
recliner?
it's just a normal couch. It has like an ottoman,
Hmm.
so it looks a bit like a sectional when you put the ottoman on the side of it. But it's just like I didn't realize how uncomfortable my last couch was until Shauna pointed it out, and she's had some stuff to say about it most of our relationship, and then now that we live together. Well, now that we're married and live together,
Is it
she's
still the
like,
one? Is it still the one from your old house before you guys
Yeah.
moved in together? Because
Yeah.
that one's pretty old. I slept on that one.
It's an
a couple
IKEA
times.
couch. And I mean, it was kind of expensive when we bought it, but when I bought it back in the day with my ex, but I was ready to get rid of it too. And so that was what we decided. Sean and I decided our first thing we were going to buy as a married couple. We decided this months ago was going to be a new couch, and we
Good
got
investment.
we got a used couch. We didn't like buy a brand new one, but it's so comfortable, and now I just want to sit on the couch all the time, which is not good. So I've been watching a lot more TV, and yeah. So all 4 episodes of Uzumaki are up now. I don't know if you've watched all 4 of those, Trey, but I finished them.
I'm still at the same spot I was before. We watched like half of one episode, and that was about it. That's all I've
Well,
seen.
I thought the first season, or I thought the very first episode.
The first episode looked
was
beautiful,
watching.
but that's the only
Was
one I've
worth
seen.
watching.
I heard that it really declines, and well, we talked about it last week or the week before.
I thought
but-
the 3rd episode was better than the first one, but yeah, the 4th episode is awful, and like
Really?
it
Wow.
just kind of like reeks of like being rushed, which I'm sure that was the case from what I've
Mhm.
read, but it just kind of like the way it resolves itself just seems really rushed and
I mean, it's only 4 episodes, so I'm sure
right.
it's
And there's
gonna feel a
definitely
little
pacing
rushed
to-
in there. Yeah.
But
This
there's
is
also
appropriate that the show went in a downward spiral, though.
Well, I definitely spiraled. I mean, everything spirals in it. I'm wondering. Well, like I said, I saw the live action movie, which was, not very good. So I figured it would be better than that, but I don't know.
let's hope you like spirals because
Well, yeah, they're everywhere.
That's all they
they're
talk
everywhere
about.
in the movie too. Yeah. But they
Um,
they like organically rotate their eyes, and it's not as scary as it is in the animated one. The actors.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to hear all
yeah.
that because I know that was in the works for such a long time. I remember hearing about it like 4 years ago or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I know the pandemic kind of messed them up, but if you're going to take 4 years to do something, take another year and, do it right.
just
Yeah.
watch the first episode, and honestly,
And that's it.
there's not really a whole lot going on narrative wise.
I mean, they're
An
kind of
episode-
their own
episode.
stories, right? Like
Kind
they
of.
don't really go together.
Everything sort of quote unquote comes together at the end, but the first 3 episodes, yeah, I would say are somewhat separate from each other with some like overlapping characters. But I would say watch the first episode, and it's not particularly great, but visually it's amazing. Like you can tell that's where they poured all their resources was in that first episode. And if it works, the rest might not seem as bad by comparison. But I did finish the 3rd episode of Dan to Dan. Have you been watching that too?
I haven't seen any of it yet. It's still on
Oh, you didn't even watch the first one.
No,
Oh, I finished.
I haven't
I've
seen any
watched
of it.
all that's available of that, and
It's on
great
my
show.
it's on my list. There is actually a show that I'm going to talk about on here that was like an 8-hour show that we watched
Oh, cool.
so we never got around to anything else.
yeah, we were watching Yellow Jackets, and then we got to a point where we have to start paying to.
Oh,
We
so
have to
you,
get, like,
so
a
you watched the
2 hours.
first season, right? Because it's on
Yeah.
Netflix now. Yellow Jackets is really good. I've said that before on the show. I think I said it like 2 years ago, but it's
Yeah.
It's a great show. I watched it all on. What is it? It's a Showtime show, right?
Time, yeah.
Because you can get well now Showtime comes with Paramount Plus, so we just got it that way because it's much cheaper. But originally I got Showtime just so I could watch Yellow Jackets, and it was worth it. We watched Justin and I watched that first season in a couple days, and it's great. And Melanie Linsky's in there; she's awesome. So I mean you've seen it, so maybe the second season isn't as strong as the first season, but it's it's got a lot of Twin Peaks-ness to it, and I liked it. It's about for anybody who doesn't know, it's about these these kids that get stranded on a mountain. It's this like female soccer team, and like it kind of goes in between like them as kids and them as adults.
It's kind of funny because, so first off, I'm like, well, this actually really happened. A soccer team crashed in the Andes. This is like, I think, a Brazilian team.
Yeah.
The Alive.
The Alive. Well, I remember I read the book, the Alive book.
And so when they like this, the premise of this show, we started watching it. It was like, so is this like a fictionalized version of that? But then they referenced that. So it's kind of weird that they were like, let's also make them a soccer team.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've got complaints about some elements of the show, but only because a lot of times it's unpredictable, but then every once in a while it's just super predictable. And you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought a lot of the adult actors were great. Like Christina Ricci's awesome in it. Melanie Linsky's
Oh yeah,
great.
Christina Ricci's. I've never seen her so.
Was
creepy.
it Juliette Lewis? She's in it too. She was good.
She's awesome.
So like I felt like all the adult characters they have in there like did really well.
She's got big like when Charlize Theron played Eileen in the Monster movie. She's got kind of that sort of like swagger.
Oh sure.
It's really good. Like Juliette Lewis kills it, and then there's other people too.
It's been a long time. It's been a really long time since season 2 like premiered. I know that had some pandemic shit happen to it I guess that was 2023 was season 2. And now 2024 is like almost over. So, and there's still no release date for season 3. So I felt like that was. No, actually, you know what? It wasn't the pandemic. It was the actor strike that fucked it up.
It was.
It's what happened, yeah. The actor strike happened, like, in the middle of it or whatever. So, yeah, there's no release date for season 3 yet, but, yeah.
Seeing Melanie Linsky in a lot more things lately. She's been more prolific than I realized, I guess.
Yeah, she's done a lot of things. It wasn't just...
Heavenly Creatures.
Heavenly Creatures. Yeah.
And what was she? Was she in... Was it Fallout that she was in briefly?
I don't know. I never saw it.
I don't remember seeing her in there.
She was also in 2.5 Men.
Or maybe it was Last of Us.
That awful show. She was on.
You know what? It was Last of Us that she was in, I think.
Yeah, she was in Last of Us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she was in other newer stuff, too. She's been in a lot of stuff lately.
She was in a movie we watched recently. Oh, Ever After. She's one of the evil stepsisters or whatever. It's like a retelling of a Cinderella story.
I figured with the
like
title.
Melanie Linsky in the late 90s. And they just kind of like, she basically just gets made fun of. Just they make fun of her weight and stuff the whole movie.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
It is.
They're incorrect.
Yeah, lots of TV. We're getting through Boardwalk Empire as well right now, so watching that a lot.
Oh, I remember that show.
Lots of couch laziness. I'm just sucking it in. I'm just sucking on the TV I can and loving it. Every moment of it.
You should try out those Blu-rays that I got you. You watched those?
We did. We watched the vampire one.
Oh yeah, isn't it hilarious?
Oh wait, we watched both of them.
Yeah, the vampire one's amazing. Like just
we watched both of
how
them.
Ridiculous it is.
Leaving Las Vegas was much weirder than I remembered, but the vampire one was
Leaving Las Vegas. I didn't get you that one.
Or not Leaving Las Vegas.
You mean Wild at Heart?
Wild at Heart.
Oh, yeah. So you remember Trey got these movies for Jeremy for his wedding.
For us, for me and Shauna.
Yeah, it was for. Well, I know that
yeah.
You're both. Shauna's a big Nicolas Cage fan, and the whole inspiration for it was Wild at Heart, because Wild at Heart you can't get online anywhere. Like, it's not available to stream anywhere. If you want to get it, you have to buy a physical copy of it. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. So I got that for you first, and then I got the vampire one also because I think it's a great Nicolas Cage movie, and he's fucking hilarious in it. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage isn't in that one, but you could still.
I know that. No, he was hilarious in Wild at Heart. The vampire one, he was funny, but that movie kind of falls apart at the end, I think.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't say that the story's great. I just think his performance is insane, like through the whole thing, and his like ridiculous accent that he has through all of it.
It's very Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
In The Room. Before that,
I'm pretty sure that South Park stole that accent for plenty of jokes, because I've heard people on that show talk like that. I'm pretty sure they took it from that movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the director was telling him to do, but they did it right. He is Nicolas Cage, like on a whole new level.
He probably just did it because I'd heard of him for other movies, just doing his own like weird version of whatever, and they just let him run with it.
When he starts bugging his eyes out, Nicolas Cage style, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah. No, I took a picture of that where he does that in that movie. Like I remember taking it because we watched it during the pandemic, and I remember taking because there's like that one shot of him with his eyes all buggy. That's great. It's a great way to encapsulate that movie.
And him as a character actor.
And him as whatever he is. So yeah, and Wild at Heart gets pretty weird. It has like its own like Wizard of Oz like shit in there too, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
But it's also like, like David Lynch like left Twin Peaks to do that movie. Like that was part of why a lot of people on Twin Peaks were pissed at him like season 2 because he kind of abandoned Twin Peaks to make Wild at Heart. But there are people from Twin Peaks in there, so
there are.
So they got work from that as well. But yeah, Blue Velvet is a great one to watch. I mean, that's a scary ass movie. Like watch that for Halloween. That's a fucking scary movie. It's definitely got some terrifying parts to it. It's been a while since I've seen that one. I think that one's hard. I don't think you can find that one online either.
Dennis Hopper is just absolutely terrifying in that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Even almost as terrifying as Bowser when he was Bowser.
No, I think he's more terrifying than he was as Bowser. Bowser, he was just pretty silly. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Well, I guess let me transition to a TV thing that I watched. I don't think any of you guys have Peacock, but it's like one of the cheapest streaming services out there. It used to be $5 a month. Now it's like $6 a month. They went up $1.
I think it's included with my Comcast internet. I just never.
Yeah, I used to have it for free through Comcast.
Yeah, I get it because they put they'll put a lot of new movies in there. Like we've watched a lot of newer horror movies on Peacock, where they just kind of show up on there. And also if you're into wrestling at all, you can watch all of the basically all of the WWE pay-per-views are on Peacock. And also since they carry WWE now, and since WWE bought WCW and ECW, you can actually watch all of the WCW and ECW stuff on there as well, which is a huge thing. And there's like 10 different true crime shows that are on there also that I've worked on. So you can find my name in the credits on various shows on Peacock. I'm not trying to sell Peacock. I'm just saying it's a cheap ass it's a cheap ass app, and you can watch shit on there. But I saw it when I was when I was in wherever I was at last week. Whenever I was out of town, I remember seeing a trailer for this show called Hysteria on YouTube. And I was like, oh, this looks cool. It has Bruce Campbell's in it, my man Bruce Campbell, one of my favorite actors ever. But Jess and I, we watched the whole thing over a couple days. It's like 8 episodes, and it's like it's like a horror show, I guess. I thought it was done really, really well. The main the basic story of it is there's this one kid who gets kidnapped, and they can't find him. There's a missing person case thing, and you find like stuff around town, pointing to like that Satanists did it. Like there's like pentagrams like carved into trees and stuff like that. And there's these group of nerdy friends who like have a metal band, and they can't get anybody to like come see their band or whatever. So they decided to become Satanists, and they become like super popular, just kind of riding the wave of like satanic panic and all that. And it's pretty awesome. I thought it was a really good show. And on the very last episode, there's a flashback to them playing a song like in the one guy's garage, and it's a Protomen song. I was like, oh wait, what the fuck? That's Protomen. And there's nothing in the show or in the credits or anything that to credit Protomen. And I tried looking online to see if anybody had said anything about it or not. Nope, and I didn't see anything. The only proof I could find was if you listen to the soundtrack on Amazon Music and you watch like the X-ray thing, it'll say like song written by, and it shows the members of Protomen on there. So I was like, okay. So I put it on Twitter and I tagged Protomen and all that, and they liked it, but it didn't get that much traffic. But then like the next day, Protomen said, hey, watch this show that our song is on. I was like, why didn't they do that before? I felt like I kind of like, I don't know, pushed them on it or something. I was like, am I the only one that noticed it? I mean, it's only been out. It hasn't even been out
maybe
for like
you
a
pointed
week.
it out to them.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe their label or whatever farmed it out and didn't tell them.
Well, it's not, it's like, it's their song, but it's the band singing their song. So it's not like the Protomen.
Oh, that's even cooler.
It's not it's not like the song from the Protomen. It's their song, but the metal band is singing the song. So it's a cover by the band that's in the show, which is called Death Crunch, is what they're called. And yeah, they sing, and I'm like, I know this fucking song.
It sounds
And
like
then- and I
black
was-
metal cereal.
And I was like, yeah, Death Crunch. And I was like, I know this fucking song. And the first song they play in the show is The Number of the Beast from Tony Hawk Underground 4. That's where it came from, right? No, the Iron Maiden song, of course. It's like the first song they play at their first satanic get
Which is
together,
somewhat
whatever.
topical because not that singer, but a different Iron Maiden singer passed away
Oh, really?
this week. It was the other singer that took over while Bruce was gone for a few albums.
Oh, okay. Shit. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But there are, aside from the Protomen in there, there's also other video game stuff. Nolan North is plays like the dad of the main character. If anybody knows anything about video games, you know who Nolan North is. He basically was in every single video game from 2010 to now or something like that. He was the voice of the dude from Uncharted, and he was the voice of the Penguin from the Batman games, and he was Zod in the DC fighting games. Pretty much every single game that came out on PS3 and 360 had Nolan North's name on it. It seemed like he was in Last of Us also. So it's nice to see him in person acting on a TV show and not just but I was like, oh fuck, Nolan North. And then I saw him, I was like, I know that guy, but I knew him from all the all the IGN videos and stuff like that because he became a pretty famous video game voice actor, and all that. But anyway, yeah, it was a fun ass show. Like I thought, I thought it was good all the way through, and it was enjoyable. And Bruce Campbell's in it a lot. It says also starring Bruce Campbell, but he's in every single episode. She's like the sheriff of the town, so he's the one who's trying to put all the pieces together and all that about what's happening. And plus, there's a whole lot of other shit a whole lot of religious brainwashing and stuff like this and. There's a lot happening. I don't want to say too much because because it's very much like a murder mystery show. But yeah, kind of. There's plenty of times where I really didn't know where it was going to go, and and it was fun. And yeah, there's lots of fun metal shit in there too. So check that out on Peacock if you have it. But let's see, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I got Killing Time Resurrected that came out last week.
What was that? I'm curious.
I've only played it a little bit. I liked what I played of it. The only weird thing is that the gun sounds are really muted, so that kind of always brings down any first-person shooter when the guns don't sound like guns. They don't sound like.
You can't bring up the effects at all.
They're up all the way. They're still really muted. Maybe that's just part of the game. I don't know, but that was kind of weird. But yeah, the characters are FMVs. You're killing FMVs, so they all die the same way. They all die the exact same way because they're real people recorded. So you notice that pretty quickly. Where they all fall down the same way and shoot the ceiling, and they'll be you'll find spirits, and they'll show reenactments of stuff that happened there, but it's all fully, acted by people and all that and voiced over or whatever. So that's interesting. But like I said, I didn't really play it for that long, but I definitely want to play it more. And it's on. I think it's on sale till Halloween. It's $5 off, so it's 20 instead of 25. Which 20 is always the sweet spot for me for games. So. And I like to support all the Night Dive Studio stuff that they do. And I like weird first-person shooters. But the reason that I didn't get to play it as much was because Super Mario Party Jamboree released last week. It actually released as we were recording the podcast, real time, because it came out at 11. Because they come out on 11 on 11 p.m. Central on Wednesdays now, because everything releases on Thursdays now for Nintendo. And yeah, it's good. I immediately played online. I streamed playing online right after we got done recording, and for any of the patrons, that's what's playing behind me is my online play of Mario Party. And I got kind of beat in the first game. I played the regular Mario Party mode, and then I played Pro mode after that, and I got really beat on that mode. the guy it was, I swear there was only 2 actual humans in this. It was just me and another person and just bots in the game, I think. Because and each time it was against Bowser. Every time I was playing against somebody named Bowser. The first time it was a Japanese person because they had a Japanese name. And the second one, their name was JC or JK or something like that. But they destroyed me. They ended up with 10 stars at the end of it. I mean, I was kind of, I don't know. I was pissed. Watch the video. I see how happy I am about it. Because those last couple rounds, I was like, oh, just get me out of here. This guy's destroying me. But you can do the stickers and stuff where you talk to people online, and say like, what, or yes, or betrayal, or why would you, or all this. I wish there was one that said fuck you. You could just say fuck you to people.
Just one. Just throw one in there, Nintendo.
I want one that says fuck this game because, I love Mario Party, but I feel like the game is still against you. The game still fucks you over. Like Jess and I, we were playing like yesterday or the day before or something like that. We played it not that long ago, and Jess was like 2 spots in front of the star, and then you roll a 1, and then they give you a 1. Like it does that all the fucking time. It's so annoying. Like where it's like that happened to me online where I was like 3 spots away from a star, and I roll a 2. And then the person like goes past me and buys like 2 of them, and then and that's just and everything goes downhill from there. It's like I feel like the game is still fucking it's like the AI and it is still destroying you. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. It's all the dice rolling. I always feel like the dice rolling, whatever you think is like the worst roll you could get when it's important. When it's an important roll, that's what happens. Or you'll roll like 3 dice and you'll get like 3 2s or something. You'll still get a 6. For like 3 dice, and it's like what, So there's still frustrations like that. But I mean, the game is fun. Like the new levels are fun. I haven't really played around with it with a whole lot of the extra stuff. I haven't done like the online, like the stuff that's kind of more Fortnite-ish, where it's like a bunch of you against each other. Just because I've only really been playing it single player while I've been editing. So I've just been playing the single player, and the single player you can basically walk through every level that's in there. And you can go like, space by space and kind of explore it like that. But there's all these little missions within it. Like they'll be like, hey, get me this thing. There's a lot of fetch quest stuff. And you also get to play through mini games in there, and you get these little bonus stars. And when you get a certain amount of stars, there's a boss. So there's a boss for each level in the single player. And as you go through, you recruit people to fight with you. So at the end, it's a 4-player boss mode, 4 against 1. And you'll have 3 other computer players if you found all of them before you get to that. When I made it through the first 2 levels, I got there's 60 stars each, so I got the 60 for each one.
Wow.
And what's really cool about this game versus other Mario Party games is now there's character-based battles. So the Jamboree, I guess, idea is like they call them Jamboree partners. So you play the game a couple rounds, and then somebody will show up on the board. It'll be like, Donkey Kong or Mario or Peach or Wario or whoever. They'll show up on the board. And the idea is you need to get to them, and once you get to them, you'll play a party game where you all have to compete to have this character join you. And once the character joins you, you get to do everything twice. You get to buy 2 stars. You can do one really cool thing you can do is you can go to, if you land on Boo, you can steal money and then be able to steal a star from somebody. Like if you have that amount, or if you land on Bowser Space, you have to do it twice because you have 2 partners or whatever. But the cool thing about it is, in order to get your partner, you have to play this mini game that's based around each character. So if you land on Mario, per se, you basically play like 3 classic Mario Party games. So you play like Bumper Balls and like the one where you jump up the vine thing, and I forget what the other one is, but it's all like stuff from the original Mario Party. And Luigi is like in Luigi's mansion. You have to find him in the mansion. He's lost. Like there's ghosts and all that. So everything is based around the actual characters. Donkey Kong has a Donkey Konga thing where you actually play rhythm with the bongos and all that stuff. So it's really cool. Like it's all, and Wario one is like it's like a quiz show, but it's supposed to kind of be like WarioWare a little bit, like that sort of thing. So they have all this stuff based around each of the characters. And I haven't played all of them yet, but the ones that I played are pretty cool. Like, I definitely like the Donkey Konga one for sure in there, the rhythm stuff. But you can play it online against anybody. Like I said earlier, is my nickname, the Pro Partier. I played Pro mode. The Pro mode has less randomness in it. Like if you land on Bowser's spot, you automatically lose a star. If you don't have a star, you lose half of your coins. Like that sort of thing. You can. Everybody gets to start off with an item at the beginning. If you land on a lucky space, you either choose coins or a double dice. Like there's no randomness to that. Whenever you get to mini games, you get to vote on whatever mini game you want out of the ones that they show you, instead of it being completely random. So there's stuff you can do like that. And if you ever land on the same spot as somebody else, you'll automatically battle for a star. It's the way it works as well. So You can do shit like that, which I tried doing that online and I got beat. And it was such an easy battle mode too. You just had to walk through marbles, but I still didn't make it to the end. And they took my star, and I ended up with nothing at the end. And there's achievements that you get for different things, and as you get achievements, you'll like level up, and every level up you get a different board. So it starts with 4 boards, but there's actually 7 boards, and you can unlock 3 more as you go through the achievements and whatnot. But it runs at 60 frames. I think it's definitely one of the best looking Mario Party games I've seen. Like, there's this golf game that you play with motion, and I think the grass looks really nice. Looks real bright. Definitely looks like grass. And
Nintendo does grass and water well.
yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some water levels that look really good, too. It just looks nice. It's like one of the... I mean, Mario Party's always got a lot of shit for looking bad, and... the 64 ones look kind of rough. They had like the static boards and all that, but I'd say this is definitely the best looking one that I've seen for sure.
Would you also agree with what seems to be the assessment that this is the best Mario Party game ever?
I mean, it's pretty solid right now. I need to spend more time with it, I think, before I say that. I'm not one of those people that says everything new is automatically the best.
What's your
Mario
current favorite?
Party requires you have to like play it with people.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true, yeah.
you gotta play it for a while. You gotta see how well the boards that are there last. Like I thought Superstars was pretty good. I like that one, but also I wish there was more boards on there. I felt like the boards were a little limited, and Super Mario Party was, the boards were tiny on that. Like they needed to be bigger, for what they are. But the mini games were cool. That were on that one. But one thing that that sucks about it is so there's motion control games in it, where you have to play with the Joy-Con. And they're optional. You don't necessarily have to play them. You can play with a Pro Controller and turn them off. But the thing is, like these games are not like they don't need to be motion controlled. Like a lot of them, you're just waggling. Like I don't understand why you can't just like make that just be a button, because it could easily be done with a button. Like it doesn't need to be. There's not anything like I don't think any of it is like, oh, this needs to be motion controlled. Like it's so important. Like a lot of it, you're just waving it around. You could be tapping a button instead of that. And it would be the exact same thing. So hopefully they'll put out a patch later that would switch that, because it's kind of like, yeah, I've played like a lot of the motion control stuff, and I really don't think any of them are like, oh, this is so great because it's motion controlled. It's just waggle shit. You're just shaking it. That's all you're really doing for a lot of them. There's like the golf one where you kind of tilt the golf thing, to get the ball in, but you could easily do that with the analog stick and like have the same feeling with it. It doesn't need to be. I'm just saying they could have easily like left them in there and just switched it up to like a button or like an analog stick or whatever, and nobody would have noticed. Like really, like a lot of them. There's like there's a hammer one where like where like you wait. You basically, there's a whole bunch of different nails like on a board, and they're all at different heights. And you wait for the character to raise up the hammer, and once the hammer's glowing, you like move the Joy-Con down, and then it hammers. That could be a button. That could easily be a button. Like they hold it up, just wait for it to glow, hit A, boom. It doesn't necessarily need to be. Or there's like a battle mode where you're fishing, and you wait for your little like bobber to move, and then you move it, and same thing. That could be, you could just press A, and that same thing would happen. So I don't see necessarily the reason for the motion stuff being in there. So I see in the future them taking care of that, hopefully. So, but I highly recommend it. I mean, I don't think either of you will ever get it, but well, maybe later when it's $10 cheaper, Jeremy might get it, but.
I might. I mean,
but it is fun. Like I said, you can play.
We like playing games together at this household.
I mean, you can play online with random people, which you could do in the last game, and that's a big deal. And
Yep.
you can go.
Let me know more about how
who's good out there.
Let me know more about how the random online multiplayer is, because that might entice me to give it a shot.
Well, I mean, I played it on the day it was released, and I got people, but it was on the day it was released. But I think that there were bots that were in there. I think there was I thought it was 2 regular people and bots, because there was only 2 of us that were throwing stickers back and forth. Nobody else was doing stickers. So I thought that maybe they were just bots that were just thrown in there just to pad it out, just to make it like 4 people, But it's, I imagine it would be like Mario Party Superstars had a pretty good online community. Like it kept going. even though they didn't really update it, like you could still easily find people to play online. So
Yep, that was always the reason why I never got Mario Party, just because
of couch co-op.
Couch co-op. I don't have a family. Like
I mean, you got sisters and nieces and nephews. You totally got a family there.
Yeah, that's true, but we don't hang out all the time, and they don't really play video games like I do. So
I think your nephew would love Mario Party. I think he would have
he
would have a great time with it, And then you could play, bring the sister and the brother-in-law in there, and you got a 4-player game right there. We had a lot of fun playing it. Jess and I had a lot of fun playing it with their brother and his wife. But yeah, I don't know if they have it or not, but hopefully they get it so we can play it online. But I think it works the same way as the other one, where you can play 2 people online against other people, like two people per system, that sort of thing. So you and Shauna could jump on, and I don't know if you can do 2 per system and play random people, or if it's just friends, because I haven't really tried that. But you can definitely jump on and play random people in there. But
we also got besides the couch, we also got a new better car this week. So
you got a car?
What'd you get?
It's a what's it called? Yardis? I don't know. It's a Toyota.
That sounds like a Butler, not a car.
It's like a hatchback car. It's kind of small, but we got it from my brother-in-law.
Did you
nice.
Did you trade yours in or no?
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, mine's gone.
You got it from a family member.
No, well, I guess technically out now because I'm married. But yeah, so that car's in pretty good shape. So I'm hoping that I can get up there to visit at some point. We can do more of a live podcast thing.
Oh, sure, yeah,
a bit more, because my goal is to do that a bit more often once I got a better car. And also now that you live closer.
Less than 2 hours away, pretty much, because you don't have to deal with the downtown traffic on the way here, which is the best thing.
Or tolls or any of that shit.
That was one of the main reasons for, well, aside from being close to Jess's grandma also, but yeah, it's really nice it's so nice to not have to go through downtown, or to go around downtown. Like, there were so many times where I did out of town stuff when we lived in Wicker Park, when we lived in Logan Square, where by the time you go around downtown, and then you're finally getting off the interstate, and you have to pee so bad, and you're always on Western or Milwaukee or whatever, and it always feels so long. It's so great to not have to deal with that anymore. For the most part, you could just, because a lot of times we go to Indiana or south or even west, even to Iowa. It was pretty easy to get there without dealing with downtown. So you can cut all of that. It really cuts out 30-40 minutes out of your trip, for if you don't have to go north and whatnot, so. And
you don't have to worry about really any traffic jams.
Mostly not. I mean, we still run into some pretty bad traffic on 9094 going east from here, but that seemed to always happen at the border, at the Illinois-Indiana border. There's always a bunch of traffic there.
It's really, really dense, and then all of a sudden it just it's wide open spaces.
Yeah, we were in Michigan. We went to a wedding in Michigan over the weekend, and it was hundreds of trucks, parking lot pretty much on the way there. We were just inside the border of our hotel was in Indiana and the wedding was in Michigan. So it was we kept crossing over the border back and forth, from one to another. Our hotel was pretty fun though. It had a cool kitschy bar. It was such a weird hotel. It was it was basically like a regular hotel that also bought a motel and then attached itself to it. So our room was actually a motel where you could park in front of the door and all that stuff. But then the other side had a glass wall built around the back of it to make it connect to the rest of the hotel. It was so weird. It was like a maze, really, to get from one part to another. But that's good for me. Do you want to take a break?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about the news and the rest of the games.
Light up the night.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
We're back, everyone.
Hello. We're back from the break. John, what have you been doing?
Well, I went back to play GTA San Andreas. I felt like playing an open world sandbox game.
Was it because of wasn't there an anniversary or something that happened for GTA, or were you gonna?
I don't know.
I thought you'd posted that on the Slack that there was one of them had an anniversary or something like that.
No, I don't
It's
remember.
been over 11 years since GTA 5.
I thought I'll say. Let me see if I can find it.
I've still never played GTA 5. I'd like to get that someday.
You're holding out hope that it'll come out on Switch.
Yep. I hear on the next Direct it's going to be there.
Switch 2, maybe. It was a PS3 game. It could totally be on Switch.
It could.
Yeah, so San Andreas, it's still kind of a little buggy after all these years. Not as bad as it was. No, like 9-foot long arms waving around or anything like that. But like I was taking my girlfriend in the game out on a date, and like she wouldn't go home after the date. And she just sat in the car for the rest of the missions and the mayhem and all that.
Or she just stayed in the car the
she
whole
just stayed in
time.
the car, yeah.
She didn't get hurt.
No. So usually it'll eventually she did. Eventually the car exploded and she went home.
Did you just start shooting the car? He was like, "Get out, damn it!" Just keep shooting until it explodes, and she won't leave.
No, but normally you'll take her out,
She just
to
won't
the
fucking
restaurant or
leave.
whatever, and then it says, "Oh, she feels tired. Take her back home." It just never did. So she was just palling around, or I couldn't turn my police siren off or that kind of thing. None of it distracted from the game. I think it's still a fun game, and it appears to be like the blueprint for what would be GTA 5 and now coming up 6. So
And
yeah, it's
4.
cool.
And 4.
Don't
Don't forget about 4. That was a game that people liked. I never played, but there was that.
did
one
play
also.
4, yeah.
No, you posted on the Slack something about them getting a GTA anniversary wrong, where it says like 1887 instead of.
Oh yeah.
That's why I thought you were playing because of some anniversary or something.
No, I saw some list. I forget what the website was, but it was like top 25 sandbox games, and it said GTA. I think it was 3 or I don't know which one it was, but it said it was released in 1887.
It was 1. It was Grand Theft Auto 1.
Number 1, yeah.
1887 instead of 1997. They fucked
Yeah.
up a couple numbers in there.
Yep. Sticking with the PS2 era stuff, I played We Love Katamari. I broke the seal on that, which I I never
Finally.
played it before I bought it.
Oh yeah,
months
that
and months
game.
ago.
We all have it. One of us.
You
is
probably
beating
got it fairly cheap, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I got it for $10, which I've never played this game, so it's kind of cool to play to me a brand new Katamari game after all these years. I've only ever played the first one. That was it. Yeah. I was remembering Jeremy saying that it's like sort of a commentary on the success of the first game, which I think is a cool twist on it. It's funny, some meta commentary on Katamari, and so I'm enjoying it. I remember hearing some like kind of iffy reviews on it back in the day, and I'm not seeing any of that. I think it's just as good as the original.
Yeah, I don't recall ever reading a review back in the day because it was one of those things I remember at the time. It was my roommate's girlfriend who brought those games over, and I believe it was her PS2 as well that we had. So it's like basically I was just playing her games. So when she would bring a new PS2 game in and say, "Hey, this is good, you should play it," I usually would. And yeah, I knew I wanted to play. Like I think she got Katamari 2 the day it came out, and so I started playing it like that day.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played the original Katamari over at Trey's house. Me and Otis were over there, and after that, Otis was like, "I got to get this game," and he got the game like the next day. And yeah, we were playing that one forever.
Still just crazy to think that was a budget game when it came out.
Yeah, $20. Yeah,
It's
that worked.
It has its own freaking corner of the internet now. Supposedly they have a patent about rolling things up, I guess. I don't know. I heard that. I think it was Axe of the Blood God. They were talking about patenting game mechanics and how different companies had tried to do it. And I think Namco or Bandai Namco has some stuff with Katamari.
I believe it because I can't really think of any other game that's come out in the 20 years since where you roll stuff up or anything close like that.
I would love to see an indie like shout out or whatever, like a
Continuation, yeah.
Yeah, because as we've seen with games like, Stardew Valley is like the golden child, but some games can do things better when you like let the fans do it.
It's true. How long has it been since a Katamari game?
Oh, a long ass time. I don't think there's been one since the 360 generation, PS3 generation. I don't think they've gone beyond that. There may have been one on Vita. I don't know for sure, but
It's inexcusable.
if there was, that probably was the last one.
I mean, like, looking at Astrobot recently, I think PS5 could pull off like an amazing, mind-blowing Katamari game. So once you get on that, imagine
reminded me of Astrobot, another game I have to play.
Imagine like the whole thing of PS5 being like no load times. Imagine really going from microscopic all the way to like sucking up entire universes without any hiccups. I mean, they did that pretty well back in the PS2 day, even, but just take that to like a grander scale, even.
I mean, that game looked silly at the time as far as like the character models and stuff were more evocative of a 32-bit era.
Right.
Obviously they were like higher resolution and all that, but I think if they kept the graphics where they are and didn't try to like wow anyone with like hyper realistic graphics, then they certainly could do some pretty incredible stuff.
Right. Imagine seeing
Better
thousands of things on the screen all at once. Yeah. I mean, it could be cool.
What if you had like double cherries with you had like in Mario where you have like multiple princes walking around with Katamaris at the same time or something?
The on the subject of Katamari games, the last console one was released in 2009, and it was for PlayStation 3. July 23rd, 2009 was Katamari Forever on PlayStation 3, and everything after that was either there were mobile versions and there was there was a Vita version that came out in 2011.
So the Vita was the last one.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as console ones,
man, I was just guessing.
One was 2009.
Just educated guess.
But
what's going on?
I was just curious because I did actually play Katamari Damacy on my old flip phone, like that old, because I had this indestructible flip phone that I would use.
But it was a different kind of Katamari, right? It was like a
Katamari game. I mean, it was
made.
It was
like a different version.
I think I had that too.
I mean, but I'm looking at the list. There's like 10 different mobile Katamari games that came out. So it was one of those. I don't remember.
I remember being really excited when there were like rumors about a Katamari game coming to the DS, and it was just like, that makes sense. And then also
never happened.
That makes sense. And then it didn't happen with either.
That was one of my dream games for 3DS. That would have been cool with the 3D effects.
I guess
that happened.
I guess there was a Katamari DSiWare game that came out in 2009.
Was there?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what caused the rumor. And
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it wasn't just a mobile port of some form.
We love Katamari.
We love Katamari. You know, that second one was the one I just recalled spending the most time with because it had a bit more of a... Because you want to, like, unlock more stuff, so it just gives you more of a reason to keep playing than the first one did, I think.
Well, I also did some more pinball this week. That's my name and stuff at the top. I went back and downloaded all the free pinball games. Like, there's a handful of free pinball games on the Switch where you can, like, you get a few tables here and there to try them out, and then they want you to buy more tables. So I went back and I downloaded them all.
Try buying one. Try buying a pinball table. They're not that expensive. They're only a couple bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
it's
the
like
Portal one.
$3.
I've got the Universal pack with Back to the Future on Pinball FX3.
I still think that you probably are justified in considering a high end, like a video pinball table if you ever want to get one. I think
Yeah,
you're
I
the
would
right
totally get it.
consumer for that.
I would absolutely get that. I mean, like $7,000. You know, I'm only ever going to buy one pinball table, probably. And so I would just get that. And
That alone is the price of buying a pinball table.
Yeah.
Easily. If not, like, cheaper.
yeah, just do that, and then get the best simulation that you can. There's some pinball news that we'll talk about later, but yeah, just get the virtual pinball stuff. I would totally do that. As for
go ahead. No, I was just going to say that the layout on these games is confusing. That a couple, like, I wrote a note down for a few episodes ago to talk about it, but I never got around to doing it. But so, like, there was one time you were talking about pinball, or what, Zen Pinball 2 or whatever number 2 is, where you can play, like, like the Back to the Future pinball tables and all that.
Pinball FX3.
And I was talking about, like, I was talking about, like, how the Marvel stuff was on there. That's actually only on Pinball FX1. If you want the Marvel one, you got to go back to 1. That's so stupid. Like, why isn't it on 3? And same with the new Star Trek pinball, which is, like, super new, is on FX1 and not 3. Like,
I don't understand.
I don't understand this logic in any way. It's really fucking confusing. Yeah.
There is no Pinball FX2 on the Switch. It's just Pinball FX3
and 3 and 1, right?
That's it. There's no 2.
It's so confusing. Well, I mean, on PS3, I had a Zen Pinball 2. But yeah, it's like there's 1 and 3, but why isn't everything on 1 on 3? Like, why do you need 2 different things? Like, I don't understand. Like,
I feel like there should, it should just be a marketplace for pinball machines, which
exactly.
Zen's doing that, but it's like, or whatever the one is we have. Is that the one we have?
It's Zen, or Pinball FX is the same as
Pinball
Zen
FX.
Pinball.
Yeah.
But it's the same as Zen
like,
Pinball.
You're just getting all these,
but it's also called one or the other, like, depending on what
it's
system
just all
you're on.
these different, like, marketplaces for pinball machines essentially. So it's like, just standardize it, do something like what Just Dance kind of did, where they made it a subscription based. Maybe you don't, like, require that sort of thing. Also, Just Dance still releases an annual, standalone game, but I don't know. A lot more people would play video pinball if it wasn't so confusing about.
It's really confusing.
It
I mean, so there's these are the free ones that I found on the Switch. There's Pinball FX, Pinball FX3, and then related is Pinball M, which is where they put a couple of the mature tables, Friday the 13th and all that kind of stuff. So those are really those 3 are the same thing, just divided in 3.
But like Doom and Alien and, like, these other that are mature stuff, those are still on 3 because I have those on 3.
That's weird.
So it's like, why is there? It's like, why is there this mature one, but there's also mature stuff on Pinball FX3? Like, I don't understand. I guess that was like a Bethesda bundle, but there's also, like, Alien and stuff on there too. So it's like, I don't know.
For their own good, they need to get it under one umbrella because
It's really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think a subscription based pinball thing would probably do well. I'm not going to do it, but
I mean, I was saying, I said it before. Just let us just have, like, one profile where we can just download our pinball tables on whatever system we're on.
Right.
Since a lot of people have bought these multiple times. I mean, I have. Like, they're all spread out for different, but between the PS3 and the PS4 and the Switch and the DS and the 3DS even, and the Wii U, I have, like, a whole bunch of different pinball games that I've bought. spread
Yeah.
across all these? Like, why can't they just be all in one app? That's all I ask.
And there are a lot of options. I know they're into like $3 for an individual table or $10 for a pack. But if you were to get like if you're a real pinball fan and you want to get all of these, you'd be spending a ton of money. I didn't go back and add it up, but it would be in the neighborhood of hundreds of dollars to get all the pinball tables.
Yeah, I mean
Which I
they
think
do
is
have
like-
deals. I mean, do they have
Yeah.
they have deals sometimes? But it's still kind of There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there can be work done to make that a little bit more reasonable. But then there's also the Pinball Arcade, which I forget what is the company behind that one. But then there's also Stern Pinball Arcade, which is all the Stern machines. And on that one, the only free one that you get is the Frankenstein, the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the Robert De Niro movie.
Oh, how's that pinball? How's that?
It's pretty
board?
good. It's okay. It's
Better
just-
than the movie.
That's the first time I've thought about that Robert De Niro Frankenstein movie in 25 years.
I didn't even know it existed. I mean, until now, I forgot about it.
But then there was one that was pretty notable because I just didn't know about this one. It's called Zakaria Pinball, which I was educated on this week. Zakaria, I guess, is one of the classic pinball companies. It seems like they went out of business around the 80s or so. But when you think of like pinball from the 50s and 60s, they had a lot of machines back then. Some of those tables were pretty cool, and there's a lot of them that you can try for free on there. Like it has the widest selection of free stuff available. Although I couldn't quite determine how it was like limiting me in any way. I felt like I got to play a bunch of tables all the way for free as much as I wanted. But then some tables, it seemed like they were timed, like you just try them out for 15 seconds. But the delineation between the two wasn't really clear. It's like I wanted to go play this one. That was cool to play it. The next one, I can only try it for 15 seconds. So, I mean, it's all free to try, so totally worth downloading. But one notable thing, I thought this was really funny. I got a prompt in this game to go to visit the Nintendo eShop. They misspelled Nintendo in this game when I was trying to go to the eShop.
And nobody caught it or cared.
Nindento.
Doesn't matter what comes, Nintendo's fresh or alive.
Yeah, nobody seems to care about it
Nope.
or notice it, or maybe they did notice it and they're like, whatever. Nobody looks at it.
But some of those tables were actually a lot of fun. So as much as the interface is a little wonky, I thought that's totally worth downloading if you want to try some of the older, like the 50s and 60s machines. They were interesting to take a look at. But yeah, that's what I did this week.
I'll try it. I think I downloaded all of the free pinball stuff at one point. I don't remember if I got the Zakaria one or not, but I'll have to try it.
John, you were talking about this company, and I watched the video, and I thought it was cool. They're looking to like miniaturize pinball tables, but have them still be the experience of like a full-size pinball table.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of questions. Like, I did see one of the things was they were using smaller, they were like whatever, the smaller ball bearings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if they said it within the documentary, but I imagine you'd have to like reduce the slope for the ball to move slower proportionately to how it would be as a bigger
To make it
object.
feel, yeah.
So I just don't know how you would miniaturize a pinball table and maintain the original pinball table. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's possible because it exists in the same world, as a smaller version of itself. So as cool as I think that would be, and I don't know if we want to put like a link or whatever in the description, but there is a video you can watch about this that John posted in the Slack where, there's some creators that are genuinely thinking that they might have figured out how to bring analog pinball home for people.
Mechanical pinball. Yep.
Yeah, at an affordable price. And
They're
it's
aiming for
gonna
a step-
somewhat follow it's going to follow the arcade one-up model
Hmm.
in pricing and like build it yourself structure and all that. But holy shit, I don't know how that's possible with a pinball, with an analog pinball table. Like, how do you maintain it yourself? Like, just leave the physics out completely. How do you maintain it?
Yeah.
How do they
gonna
run? How do they run the maintenance themselves if they're going to
Right.
charge customers to have them fix it? Like, that's worth knowing because it's like a pinball table is essentially like buying it's not like buying a car, but it's like buying a car. It's something you gotta like maintain. You can't just
Right. You can't
let it
just
keep
play
going.
That's
You got
it.
you like shit's gonna get worn out. You got to replace it, or you got to go in and adjust things.
Yeah, you got to buy all those little parts that you see in the rooms at the MGC where they got those boxes with just like springs and shit in there.
Yeah, I mean this company. So this is from a company called Wonderland Amusements, and the video we're referencing comes from a YouTube channel, a guy named Michael B, the Game Genie, which he focuses primarily on arcade one-ups. But this was an interesting video where he went to a pinball expo, and this company was showing off their prototype for a mechanical pinball machine, 3/4 scale. The price is ranging from $700 to $900. It's not in production yet, but they're hoping to get it going next year. And I think they said they were going to do a Kickstarter too. But the guy talking about it, I mean, he seemed, very confident that they have nailed this 3/4 mechanical pinball made cheap for the home. So I'm really curious to try it. And I'm also curious whether, does this 3/4 machine nail the feel of pinball better than the $7,000 virtual pinball machine? Like between the two, which one feels more like an authentic pinball table? I'm inclined to think actually, the $7,000 virtual pinball machine.
I mean, considering the Switch came out 7 years ago,
Yeah,
close to 8 at this point, and it has technology within those little tiny Joy-Con controllers where you could feel how many
you're right.
are moving around in it. If you took that and applied that to an overall pinball table, I think you could get digitally. I think you could get a better experience with a digital pinball table than a miniaturized version.
Right. I mean, I think probably when we were kids, we all had or tried like some, a cheap Toys R Us counterpart pinball table. And, it feels more like, the game Crossfire or something rather than an actual pinball table.
Yeah. You've got like half a second to like hit the ball when it like comes down from the very top because it's like moving at 88 miles per hour or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm just curious to see how this turns out. I'll keep an eye on it. Everybody go check out that YouTube channel, Michael B, the Game Genie, and look for Wonderland Amusements to see what we're.
I mean, I think it's important to realize that pinball tables are literally practical effects video games. They were like video games before video games, and every possible thing that could happen within the programming is a mechanical part. So they're like just extremely impressive pieces of machinery, and obviously it's cheaper to do that digitally, and that's a big reason why video games exist. If all games were still analog, that's an alternate history movie someone could write, where we never discovered how to project video signals, so everything's just extremely complicated and animatronic.
It'd be fascinating.
It's all
you heard it here first, folks.
It's all still just metal balls and flickers and whatnot.
Rube Goldberg machines.
Well, I guess we're in the news part now of the show. Let's talk about the news.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
Sure.
Why don't we... So last week we talked about trying to get on to the Nintendo Online thing where they, brought 10,000 people in there. And John said, they were like, pretty please, don't say anything. And it's like, I think they were planning on people saying stuff, right? It has to have been... but it's also at the same time, it's like, can you even believe anything that people are actually saying? Because what I've saw is... from what I've seen so far is that it's like some sort of Minecraft type thing. It's kind of funny because they were like, let's sue Pow World, but then let's make a Pow World type game after that. Right? Because that's pretty much what this is.
So the thing is,
that's what Pow World is. It's not Pokemon. It's
this reminds me more of like
it's a survival game.
The thing is,
this reminds me more of like a social media game.
I mean, maybe we saw different things. I thought it looked like it was like an MMO thing where you cut down trees and make stuff with it. I don't know. That's what
that's all I'd heard is just the line that it was like a Minecraft style game, but it was just like the program is, you can download it. The thing hasn't actually started yet, so all the stuff that we're hearing is just based on maybe whatever.
I thought it started on the 21st. I thought it was supposed to start on the 20th or the 21st. Well, for the people
I think
who
you
got
could
chosen.
start. I believe you could start downloading the program at that time, but I think the playtest actually begins. It was either today or tomorrow. So, in any case,
So
very
people
soon
will be
we'll be hearing
playing
more.
it, but it's I don't know. It looks like a combination between like Miitomo and Animal Crossing to me. It's like, yeah, sure, maybe they call it like Minecraft like elements, but obviously Animal Crossing had crafting in it, so or the most recent version did. So I think that it's going to be something like, it's like Miitomo and Animal Crossing combined, and then there's this social element. Well, not just like there's supposedly a hub area where you can communicate with people, which kind of reminds me of like the shop area in like a Minecraft server. So that lines up with the Minecraft comparison, but it's also got like an element where you're like working together to purify big areas. So there's some sort of like, I don't know if you'd call it like Risk, but it's something like Risk where you're like trying to cover massive land areas by conquering them and purifying them or whatever. So I'm interested. I think it sounds
Yeah, me
really
too.
cool.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be. I mean, I think it's going to be a Nintendo Switch Online thing. So I think
Yeah,
we're
we'll
all
all
going to
be
get. I
playing
think we're all
soon,
going to get
yeah.
it for free whenever it does launch, which could be, I don't know, which could be like mid-November or something.
But there's
the test's
absolutely
supposed
no
to
way
go through the
Nintendo
first
didn't
week of
know
November.
it was going to leak immediately.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
it'd be kind of funny if all that stuff that they posted was a fake thing, so that they could just like,
to see who would fake it,
and then they
Who
could
would
like,
say it.
blacklist whomever and then reveal the real thing. But I doubt that's the case. I think most likely they were looking for that extra media push you get from the or what do they call it, the Streisand effect, where you like don't want people to talk about things, so they talk about it more.
Right. So I find it a little curious, and maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but it's just worth noting that Sakurai posted his last YouTube channel video this week, in which he also announced that he's got a new game coming soon.
And it's been in development since 2022, I think.
Been in development since 2022. What are the odds that this is the same game?
It's been in development when
Whoa.
he started his YouTube channel, pretty much.
Yep.
I think it is. This doesn't have Sakurai.
No.
Doesn't seem like a Sakurai.
It doesn't
type
seem
thing.
like a Sakurai thing from what I saw of the description. It'd be cool if he was involved, but I think Sakurai is free, so I think it's going to be whatever he's doing is going to be a multi-platform type thing.
I think so.
Since he's not working directly
I think
for
so.
Nintendo anymore.
I think so.
Maybe.
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so yeah, it just looks like it reminds me a lot of the precursor to Pokemon Go. What was that game called? See, I can't remember what it's called now. But it was made by
the other Niantic thing, like before Pokemon Go.
yeah, it was the other Niantic game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know what
And,
you're talking about, but I don't
Yeah, me
remember
too.
what it was
And
called.
it kind of reminds me of that from what I remember people like playing of it and like trying to like rally together to have like a chunk of the city like occupied, quote unquote, or whatever, like on the map. So it kind of seems like that's what this is going to be, something along those lines. And I'm all about it. Like shit, like make the Switch more social. Like it's a portable system, but you got rid of everything that 3DS
Yeah.
had that
Yeah.
made it a social system. So like bring that back. Hell yeah. Bring it back. I don't even care if it's not that fun. Like just bring it back so people are hanging out again in a social area.
It'd be cool if the test was just to bring back a Street Pass. That's all it really
Yeah.
is. It's just
Yeah.
for Street Pass.
Me Plaza, all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely seems from what I saw, it seems like adjacent to that, but we'll see. It could, who knows who made this game? This could be some company that Nintendo had for a while or whatever, or that did something else on mobile and they've got them as a second party or whatever now. I don't know, but I'm excited to see. I mean, they're taking a big risk as usual by trusting thousands of people not to say anything online. So they got something up their sleeves.
They are taking stuff down too. Like Nintendo posted an article about all.
Well, I thought it was funny
people-
because I was seeing like
Yeah,
I saw someone post on NBC that was like there's comments and the Wario 64 post
Yeah, and they were all
about what the
removed.
game is, and
Yeah, I
then I
saw
went
that,
there, and well, no, the top comment was still up, the one that was referenced, and then that was the same comment I saw in multiple like media posts that was like, I hope Nintendo doesn't kill me for this, but here you go, and it was the exact same
It was
post
blanked out. Yep.
across all media, like just this one or whatever, as far as I know, and posted it, and they've probably been blacklisted, but they've got some journalistic integrity because they've been cited in multiple sources.
Yeah, but
Not
not worth
more news.
not worth
in
it
the
to
next
get
week on
banned.
that.
Not worth it to get banned from NSO or whatever.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think leak culture is all about getting the internet cred and hoping that I don't know, like ultimately we're all just gamers and we want to keep playing our Switch. So
Yeah.
Just want to see new shit.
if there's someone who's like out there just about leaks and their journalistic credit is worth more to them than actually playing the games, well, we'll see how that goes for you. Because leak culture is very toxic and very, 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 very annoying. Yes, very like someone got something right once, but they got 18 things wrong, but we still think about the thing they got right once. You know what I mean? It's like reverse statistics.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a lot of things. It's a lot of
That's life.
that's politics and a
What-
lot of
the
other
one
stuff.
thing
Where it's
you
like,
get
oh,
that,
this
like,
is one thing that we
Confirmation bias,
or like
is
whatever you did
important.
last is
Uh-huh.
whatever we remember. Or,
Exactly.
nobody has memories anymore. It seems like
Confirmation
remember
bias
anything.
is important, so you get one thing that supports what you believe, 19 things that don't support that, but you just cling to the one thing that does because it's what you believe.
Yep. But speaking of NSO, speaking of cool NSO stuff, Banjo Tooie coming out this Friday.
Woo, woo, woo. I made a prediction about that.
That was something
on the
you
last
wanted a
bingo
long time
card.
ago. Yeah.
They haven't said anything about the stop and swap or whatever. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that goes.
What's up with the whatever you call it? Yeah. Hot swap, stop and swap, whatever. Can you do that? I mean, I'm willing to give it a try again. I played Banjo Kazooie 1 and
I mean, you already have it. You'll already have it.
I don't have Banjo Tooie.
I'm saying you will have it. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to play it, but you'll have it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll play it. I'll give it a try. Because I never played it. Never played Banjo Tooie.
When's that come out?
Friday,
Friday.
which means it'll probably be out on Thursday. They're always confusing about these release dates. Because it's like, oh, it's this day, but then it comes out early. Maybe it means by Japan time or something, and they're like 12 hours ahead of us, so
Whatever
that's
the
why it
global
comes out early.
standard time is.
There was a first-person shooter announced for the Switch. Actually, this game's been talked about for a while, but just confirmed for Switch this week. Mouse PI for Hire. That's that first-person shooter that looks like Cuphead, like the 1920s black and white cartoon.
That looks fascinating.
Oh, I never saw
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you should take a look at it.
I wanna
Look
play
at-
it.
Look at that trailer real quick because it looks great. Yeah, good.
It
animation.
looks like all the Looney Tunes kind of stuff that's in Cuphead, and then they
Mhm.
made that like first person, but it's like
black and
the
white.
same kind of
Yep.
Disney sort of aesthetic, like
Oh.
20s Disney.
It reminds me of, like,
this is
Bosco. Remember Bosco?
Oh, this is
Yes.
coming to Switch. I've seen this before, actually.
Yeah.
For other systems. I thought it
Yep,
was already
confirmed.
out. I thought it was already out for Xbox
No.
and PlayStation.
No, confirmed for Switch, and then also they gave a release window of next year.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty hotly anticipated game. Like, the Cuphead fans, the first person shooter fans, those boomer people.
Yeah. All those boomers that play Doom.
Boomer shooters.
Yeah.
So I think this game looks
Stupid
cool.
name.
Oh, I think Cuphead had sort of one up on it in that the visual style and the gameplay style were like they were of the same kind. Like just that, by that I mean both have the same thread in common of just like lunacy and lots of things happening on the screen in every corner filling
And it's
the
like an
screen.
old cartoon where like someone will just like pull out a gun and kill themselves at the end of the episode. Like
Mm.
that's like how it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, well,
But-
I don't like that. And
Or
they'll
it's
just,
like,
shoot
yeah.
themselves in the head.
But I think first person shooters don't quite have that in common with that 1930s style cartoon to the same degree. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it all comes together, and like I guess like why I like the style, but why this style with first-person shooters? Hopefully, the game answers that question.
I think just because it's fun. I don't know. It's a cool art style. I mean, I thought it looked really cool from what I saw of it. So I'm glad it's coming to Switch so I can play it on there. I mean, I could play it on whatever other system, but I don't play those other systems that much. So I'll try it out. I mean, this looks more fun to me than Cuphead ever did. So there you go. I'll play this one, but not Cuphead.
Have you played the Castlevania DLC on Vampire Survivors?
Is it out yet?
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't played Vampire Survivors in a while.
I played Vampire Survivors this week, and there wasn't any Castlevania
Not yet. Okay.
content, unless it's paid content. In which case, then I would not have seen it.
You know, I bought some of the paid content stuff for Vampire Survivors, but I couldn't really figure out what to do with it after I bought it. But because I liked the game so much that I got, because you could get like a few of them for like $1 or whatever. It was like really cheap, because
I will say that the
was
story
like $5.
Played a little bit of that this week. I forgot to mention that in my time earlier, but there's like missions and stuff now. Like, well,
oh yeah, there
it's
is like a story mode. Yeah, I tried playing
which is
that.
pretty
and
cool.
I was kind of
What I
confused
played of it,
about
I like.
Maybe I played it too early before it was out. But yeah, like I mean, all the DLCs are like $1 or $2. Like they're real cheap. But the Castlevania one isn't out yet.
If it's cheap enough, maybe that would bring me back for a day or two.
I mean, the most it's going to be is $2. I don't know how much cheaper you want than that. Like their most expensive DLC right now is $2.
Well, it looks like a meaty pack, so
It might be $3.
Maybe it'll be.
There's
a little
not
more.
much meat on this game.
I mean, the game is $5 for the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way the DLC will be more than that.
I say this game has a lot of meat, but it's a lot of little pieces of meat you're just picking up everywhere, and then you just keep finding more little pieces of meat laying around. Like, it's not one big steak; it's just a lot of little chunks laying everywhere.
But
And you've just eaten lots of little pieces of meat for 30 hours.
That is Vampire Survivors to a T.
yeah, but I mean, also like these pieces of meat will take you like an hour if you want to like make it all the way through.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta like scrounge around.
Like I'm saying there is a lot. Like it is a long ass game for
it's a
for
meaty
a $5
game.
for a
It's just
$5 thing. Yeah,
it's a steak that's spread out over 45 square meters.
Thin cut.
One plate.
from what I'm seeing on the Castlevania one, it very much looks like I mean, Vampire Survivors already kind of looked like a Castlevania game, but they're like, let's bring in the actual sprites of Castlevania and change all the, change the main characters to look like people from Castlevania.
Well, supposedly that was like a character pack that the Spanish developers like purchased legally and were like legally able to use those characters in their game.
It looks like it's coming, according to this, it's coming out on the 31st of October, and it's coming out for $4.
That's too expensive. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale.
It says $3.99 USD, 40 plus new weapons, 20 plus new characters, 30 plus new music tracks, one huge castle, $4, 31st of October.
It seems like a pretty good day for them to release something about being a vampire in a castle.
I don't know. I'll probably end up getting it. I mean, it's only $3 or only $4. And Vampire Survivors is a very fun game. So.
It's a great game. I love going back to it every once in a while. I still have a lot of fun with it.
It is one of the games on the NSO game trials.
Oh yeah, there's
Vampire Survivors, Curse to Golf, and A Little to the Left.
There's 3
Curse
games.
to Golf's really fun too.
3 games coming out. I have Curse to Golf. I thought maybe you would download A Little to the Left, John, because that's very much
I really
a John
like Chu Hai
game.
Labs. They have a good podcast.
Yeah, I like that kind of game. What did you say, Jeremy?
Chu Hai Labs, the ones that
yes,
publish that.
That
They have a
did
podcast
what?
that I
Curse to
like.
Golf.
Yeah.
They were on 8-4 Play. The developer
Nice.
was. This was like 5 years ago, whenever that game came out. But and I bought it. I was tricked into buying it, but I didn't really like Curse to Golf very much. I didn't think it was very fun to play. But I'm sure they're very good at talking their stuff up. But I didn't really like the game.
The car one's really fun.
What car one?
The cursed car one or whatever, where you're like a car, but you like.
Are you talking about what the car?
Or what the car? Yeah,
Because that's a completely different company.
Are you sure?
Yeah. The Curse to Golf game has nothing to do with What the Golf is what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of What the Golf.
Yeah,
You're right.
What the Golf and What the Car are from a different company. Cursed Golf is a golf game that ended up being more frustrating than fun. But the people
Talking about Curse to Car.
But the people who made Cursed Golf were on 8-4 Play.
So there's a pair of cool Kickstarter campaigns coming up. One is for the Electronic Gaming Monthly Compendium. It's going to be like a coffee table book with excerpts from throughout the years of Electronic Gaming Monthly. I think that's
That'd be
such a
thick-ass
cool
coffee
idea.
table book, yeah.
Is it going to be? It's going to have all of the covers and whatnot or whatever in there.
I mean, I think
They
it's
should
just
have a
gonna be like
coffee table
whole-
book about coffee tables.
Okay, Kramer.
Yeah, that was never on a TV show. That guy's aged well.
He's not getting his own coffee table book.
He's doing so much now.
I think they should do this for every gaming magazine. I want to see the Game Pro compendium. Give me the Nintendo Power compendium. Come on, like every old gaming magazine should have.
I think
book like
EGM
this.
is the one I would want to read because the EGM was always the most interesting. Not to say, well, I didn't have a subscription at Nintendo Power, but EGM was the one I would read at the store and stuff. Like
Yeah, EGM
Well, my
was
mom was,
supposed
like,
to be.
shipping.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the one that was like less biased or whatever.
while my mom was like shopping and stuff, I would like hang out in the magazine aisle and I'd read EGM, and I got a lot of codes from there and a lot of like gaming news before the internet.
Yeah, I found some of my old EGMs. I still have some. But as far as like, the magazines that were non-Nintendo Power, that was the one that I liked versus Game Pro or whatever
Oh
else.
yeah, Game
was
Pro
out
was
there.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Game Pro.
It was
Game-
bullshit.
He's Scary Larry, Dan Electro.
I didn't like their rating system with the Warheads guy or whatever.
Oh, Game Pro. I was mixing it up with Game Informer because I was like, Game Informer really sucked. They were the GameStop ones. They were always so
Yeah.
anti-Nintendo.
Game Pro had their own
Eventually,
TV
they
show.
were. Yeah, not no more.
The other Kickstarter campaign is for Trombone Champ, the card game. I can see
Sounds
this
awful.
as a card game.
Yeah. How does that work?
I don't know if that fits the. I don't know. I guess depending on how the card game works, but I don't know if it fits into the why Trombone Champ is so wonderful. Like, I don't need to break this down into a card game where we're all evenly competing with each other. The idea is to be annoyed as shit. We're playing this game.
Yeah, I'll say you just need a card game that says like, hey, look up Trombone Champ on your phone through YouTube and just play it really loud, and there you go, you got it. There's the game. Everybody's annoyed. The
I
end.
love trombone, by the way.
I know you do.
Actually, but
But you do need to there needs to be like a trombone speaker or something going with this card game. I don't understand
mhm.
how is it like you play a card and you go up instead of down and you miss the note or something like that. That's the way it works.
I don't know, but we're going to find out because it's been funded. So it's happening.
Wow, it got funded.
It got funded. They were asking for only $7,000. So yeah, they did it.
It's the same price of a
Yes.
pinball game.
Of all the
a
things, a
pinball
card
machine.
game. I don't know. Maybe they'll like throw us for a loop, and it'll be the new Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Cards Against Brass.
Yeah, cards against trombones. What's left on here?
Oh, so relating to something Jeremy talked about last week, they've delisted part-time UFO on mobile. You can't get it
That
on
just
the phone
happened
anymore.
this week, right?
Yeah,
That's so fucking random that I just happened to play it.
because you
and,
just
like, talk about
because
it.
you would just beat it on Switch.
It's basically my fault that this happened. I apologize, everybody, because I was probably the only person playing this game on whatever platform.
Hal was listening to the podcast last week, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we got that game. Let's stop
Well, here's the
that.
thing about Hal.
Take it down."
Hal was made here at the University of Illinois in Urbana, where I live. So we've got some beef.
How the Japanese company? I know you're referencing that space
2001.
movie. Yep,
Yes.
that I think I still haven't seen. Mario and Luigi Brothership is leaked. Surprise, surprise! Everything gets leaked. But people have got to the end, to the credits, I guess, and they found out that Acquire is on there, who've worked on Octopath Traveler. So cool. But I want to know is it still the same director that did like Mario RPG? Because the same guy did like the Mario and Luigi games as well, and that's what I want to know.
I just want to know what of Alpha Dream is left.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who from that? And is Yoko Shimomura still doing the soundtrack? Like, nobody's reported about that. I think that's really important that we should know about if you played it all the way through.
Well, maybe you should be more into leak culture. You can play the game and know.
I should watch somebody play the whole thing and a leaked copy on Twitch and get to the end and look at the credits myself after everything's completely spoiled for me. That's what I should be
you're a
doing.
journalist, right?
Yeah, right. Yes, we are. Yes, this podcast is a journalist podcast or something, something like that. On your like quest for a new game, Jeremy. I don't know when you mentioned what do you call it? Whatever the fuck it's called, the one with the robot in it, Astrobot. It made me remember that. Just remember this: most Sony games will be $20 in a couple weeks. If you wait till Black Friday. You'll probably be able to get all these games for $20. I bet you anything.
I don't want a platformer right now.
I'm saying, I bet you anything, Metaphor ReFantasi will be $20 on Black Friday. I guarantee you. I mean, well, the Persona games went down pretty quickly too. I'm just saying most PlayStation stuff.
I mean, that's
they go down really quickly. So
imagine Astrobot will be on sale. I don't know if it'll be $20, but I bet isn't it 40 already?
70.
Does it start at 40? Oh,
it's a full
I
price.
bet it goes to 40.
No, their games are 70. I bet you can find it for less on Black Friday. I'm saying like 30.
I think I might just like pull out a game and play it for my collection. Maybe I'll play through Bait and Catus Origins or Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes or something.
Yeah, play that game. That's a good game. You have that. Did you ever finish Geist? You can go back to that one.
I never finished Geist, and that's a great Halloween game.
I beat Geist. I played that game all the way through. I played it through a few times. I like that game.
That's my only game that I stopped playing. Like you were talking about how you played through all of Ys 8 on stream or whatever.
I did, yeah.
You could only play it on stream.
It took a while. It took a while.
I was doing that with
it.
Geist, but only when I would record the videos, so it wasn't stream. But I stopped playing because I don't know why I stopped playing. I was actually having a lot of fun with it. Maybe I should go back to Geist. I should watch the YouTube videos and then go back to Geist.
I thought maybe you got stuck on a part because there was some annoying parts.
As far as I remember, I was actually like getting through the part I thought I was stuck on, and I thought I had like superseded it, and then life just got in the way. I had like my 3 kids, and
that was like 3 years ago. I don't remember when you played Geist last. It was long.
I had all my children, and like now we got to like worry about public school and like those cardboard boxes you put your pencils in and all that.
I thought you were going to say something about like those cardboard boxes you have to put on your head that hopefully will deflect gunfire or something when you're at school. Kids have that, right? I mean, they need it, right?
I mean, that's not bullets. That's just life.
Yeah.
There comes a point in every father's life when he's got to shove the kids aside and go back to playing Geist, This is your time.
I should go back to Geist. I really should. One of the things is that my GameCube, I'm worried I think my GameCube might have crapped out. But that's okay because I still have a Wii I can go
Still got a Wii.
Nothing else.
And the Wii has its own HDMI out if you have a component cable.
I don't, but that's okay.
I mean, they're cheap if you want one.
I have like an Elgato brand like you do. I have that one for the AV connection, so I could still stream it if I wanted to.
Sure, you could.
There's another pinball thing that I've got to mention. I should have mentioned it back when we were talking about pinball, but hey, I'll bring it back. This guy has created a custom one-off Tony Hawk's Pro Skater pinball machine. And that just got me like, that's like a slap in the head. Like, why didn't I think of that? No, duh. Why hasn't this happened before? Kind of thing. And the way that he did it, this is like, when I say this is a fan thing, whatever, don't be mistaken. This looks like a professional pinball machine. This looks like it rolled off the factory line. Like this guy put a lot of love and care into it. You would not be able to tell this was not made by Stern or Bally or whoever. This looks like a real pinball machine, but it's a one-off.
And it is a real pinball machine.
It is a real pinball machine.
It does work.
That
yeah.
he made, and he seems to be like a hobbyist pinball designer. He goes by his company's name is Flipnik Pinball. That's FLIPNIK. And this video, if you want to see what I'm talking about, it's on a YouTube channel called Cool Toy, all one word. But just look for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Pinball. This looks awesome. I want to try this thing. I think he just like brought the spirit of the game into a pinball machine. He's got loops and stuff. Like you can make the ball.
I haven't even seen it, and I can already like think about how well skateboarding would work for a pinball machine.
And,
One real
cool thing. You can grind with the ball.
And you
And
can
this-
do like competitions, like you would
Right.
activate competitions or whatever.
You do all that. Like he goes through the. I mean, he's very passionate about it, and he just goes through the whole machine, takes you around every little corner. Trey, you just said you grind with the ball. Like you do. There's a grind rail where you grind the pinball across the rail. There was one interesting part of the video where he was talking about, I want to incorporate, skateboard tricks, but like, how do you like simulate that in a pinball machine? And he tried a couple of things, and he settled on a pretty cool device where there's the actual, like, imagine like a little tech deck, like the little fingerboards. There's like a little skateboard in there, and you can knock the pinball at different angles to make the board actually flip around and across the Y and X axis and all that, and so it can do a kick flip. It can flip
so
all
the
different
board
ways.
itself moves.
The board, you can knock the pinball to make the skateboard flip in all the ways that you could possibly make make a skateboard flip.
Oh,
I don't know, this has got me really excited, and like, I want Tony Hawk to see this video, and I want him to hook this guy up and send him over to Stern and make this an official machine, because this is like, it's like a ready to go actual Tony Hawk pinball machine.
you get a hold of Frances Bean because she's married to Tony Hawk's daughter
That's true.
Oh,
Son. Yeah, she's married to his son.
or son. Yeah.
Yeah. So do it. Make this.
Be like, it's
pinball
all
machine.
Nirvana songs playing while it's going, so you should care about it.
Whatever they got to do, make it happen.
Is there anything else on here? I mean,
Let's see. The Hallmark gaming ornaments are out this year. Some of them looks pretty cool. They have like a animated Sonic that goes in a loop. There's one cool one that I saw.
I am interested in this. So somebody managed to recreate a Mode 7 type
Oh yes,
effect on the NES. So I've seen some pretty cool stuff, like when we've checked out the homebrew games at at MGC. We've like gotten to hang out with those different groups, and I've seen some like light Mode 7 stuff, but never anything like this. It looks
good.
straight up like a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, if you can imagine, the graphics of an NES game, but the sort of motion of Mode 7 happening with NES graphics. That's what they've achieved in this. It looks good. It looks smooth.
I remember I remember seeing some Mode 7 stuff on the Dreamcast disc that we had. I don't know if it was homemade or if it was stuff that
It was mostly homebrew
that
stuff,
didn't come out here, but there was a couple games that were on there that had
Well, it was like
had Mode
Parallax.
7 on NES.
Like we saw a lot of Parallax, but we didn't see Mode 7. Like
I mean, we did
this,
on
but not like this.
I mean, I don't remember what the game was called, but there was a couple that were on there that did have like Mode 7 on it.
I'd be really
remember-
interested.
I remember
in how they
specifically.
even, like I may not even understand, but I still want to hear how they made it work because
There's something different
it's
about
impressive.
this, because it, like, we're all trained on NES graphics, and that we expect them to move and look certain ways, and this is different. They did something different, and this runs on real NES hardware, and it's going to be an actual. They're also going to put it out on Switch and all that stuff.
I don't think it's on the news, but I don't think it's on the outline. But we should talk about the Prince of Persia game.
Oh yeah, true.
Prince of Persia. Yeah, it sucks because that game was, I ran into trouble with my version of it, but they did fix it, and I can play it now. But yeah, Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown, which is a really highly rated game early in the year, like a lot of people really loved it. They're already disbanding the company that made it because it didn't sell enough, which is
The team that made it,
a shame.
So it's not. Yeah, it's it's
Do
a
they
team within
fire 'em, or do they
Ubisoft.
just break the team up and keep
I
them
heard the
alive?
word disbands. I didn't hear fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think they're just disbanding them, but still, like,
I mean, it's Ubisoft, so the worst thing I expect from them.
It's just it's so short-sighted to me, like, to say that to not look at the critical acclaim, to not hear what the fans were raving about this game, that this is one of the best games of the year, and they're going to disband the team just because somebody didn't sell the game well. The marketing team didn't do their job, or
What was that? What was that game that Microsoft did that recently with the whole team? It was a fucking hit.
the whatever it's called, Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, Hi-Fi
Hi-Fi
Rush.
Rush, yeah.
Like they had a genuine like cultural phenomenon. They had like a meme hit on their hands, and they were
Yeah.
like,
But it wasn't
Nope.
enough.
"It's not enough. Bye." It's that. It's like these shrewd business decisions that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with art or expanding the medium.
And also, that's another like topic that comes with that is like, what do you have to do to make it be a success? Because for all we know, they still like broke even or whatever, or still like went above their budget, but there still seems to be like this super high bar that the whatever the corporate doofs or whatever like seem to think things need to go for. Because like, what was it? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth like did pretty well, but Square still thought it was a failure. It's like
Yeah.
what is the bar? Like, what is the new bar now that you expect that it needs to get to? Like, does it have to have like, I don't know, make billions extra or something? I don't understand. For
I
even
think
when
that
something is considered by some people to be a success, they still say, oh, it wasn't.
I think they have some formula they establish, early on before probably while the game's still in development, and then that's the answer to what they're projecting. So if they don't meet their expectations, then bye.
Yeah.
We're a
It
huge
reminds me-
corporation with a lot of money. We'll just like, it's like when you like
Make
are
another
playing poker.
free to play thing.
You're playing poker and you get dealt like 2 jacks, and you're like, this is actually a really good hand, but I don't want to play because the risk is too high. Bye. And then you
Yeah.
would have won that hand. You find out at the end, like nobody else had like trip jacks or whatever that happened when the I'm talking about Tex Hold'em in particular, but like no one else had trip jacks. You would have been the only one with trip jacks. But you folded because you're being shrewd about your decisions. You're just trying to hold on to your money.
It's dumb. And I think Iwata said something similar on the subject. I'm going to totally misquote him, but maybe it'll ring a bell for you guys. Where he was like, "What do you do when a project is?" He was asked like, "What do you do when a project is a financial failure, but like a good product?" And he said, "The last thing you'd want to do is fire people, because that's going to tell your other employees that no matter what work they do, they could get fired, and that creates a terrible culture." And I think that's the case
I agree.
here at Ubisoft in an environment
And
where
Microsoft.
and Microsoft, Ubisoft right now, they're talking about taking it private again, and so there's uncertainty in the air around that company, and then you're going to just go out and disband this team that put out this well-known, well-regarded game.
Ubisoft has so much working against them
Stupid.
already. Like between like their terrible like people in lead positions that had sexual harassment claims, and then they like just left the company, and then I don't know. Ubisoft it's pretty fucked. And then I don't know. I don't anymore. Like when I see something is being made by Ubisoft, I'm super critical of it more than I would be of anything else. I think because I'm like, this company is so mean. They're also the ones that were the first company to be like, we're investing in AI to like create NPC dialogue.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean, like
didn't they get into crypto and stuff too? Like, didn't they do NFTs?
Yeah, Ubisoft sucks. Like they suck so much, and they've got too much money to fail just yet. But they are like throwing the dirt on top of themselves every time a good game comes out. It seems.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was a miscalculation from the beginning. I'm going to say something that might hurt some Prince of Persia fans, but maybe they just misread the room on the demand for a Prince of Persia game or a game of this style or whatever. Regardless, the team inarguably made a fantastic and well-regarded game. So you don't pull them apart.
A lot of people are saying that as a game of the year.
We're setting it as the game of the year.
A lot of people really liked it, but maybe since it released in like January, or it was like really, really early, maybe just that wasn't, I don't know, people are still recovering from the holidays or whatever, and they just didn't want to get it yet. And
yeah, there was I think it was a strategic error from the top, whether it was from the conception of, hey, let's do another Prince of Persia game. Well, maybe it's not as popular as we thought it was. Or maybe it was, we released it at the wrong time. It wasn't the team's fault. It was a strategic error from the beginning, apparently. So just keep the team together to make the next hit game that's going to pull you out from this grave that you're digging yourself in right now.
Yeah, I think it's terrible business practice, especially when it's based on like such a well-regarded game, and like gaming history. Like Prince of Persia is like a platform, like a proto platformer, like
Mhm.
in so many ways. Like it combined like it was like one of the best games at combining like the PC adventure genre with like a platformer. And Jordan or whatever, I can't remember that
Mhm.
guy's name, Jordan.
Mechner.
Jordan
Whatever.
Mechner.
But he has like the whole Karateka thing that
Mhm.
that you can play. Like I haven't played it yet,
It's on sale right now.
Yeah, I'll say it's on sale. I saw that.
12
like
bucks.
this guy's like an extremely influential video game developer who like did his own rotoscope. Like, come on, this dude did his own rotoscope for
Mhm.
his own game, and it's just crazy that that franchise is being cast by the wayside because of some big wigs at the top being like, burp, I can't eat extra steak this week. I guess I'll have to eat chicken. So we
Just
should
this
fire
version
everyone.
of it. Prince of Persia is not the whole franchise that's getting tossed. It's just this version of it because there's already
I know, but
there was already
it's
another one in development. Like they were,
supposedly like one of the best, if not the best, Prince of Persia game ever made,
yeah. I mean, well,
from what I'm hearing.
it is
So
it
it's
is
like,
good. I mean, from what once it started working and stopped bugging on me, it was really good. But there is another one coming out that's like that's like more of a hand drawn animated 2D one, and also they're doing this huge remake of the GameCube one. So like,
It's time, yeah.
it's not going away. It's just this company is going away, which sucks because they did do a
these
really
developers.
good. Well, these develop whatever the people who came together to make this really good Metroidvania first. The Metroidvania Prince of Persia.
I don't know. Just
which is a
imagine
shame.
like Nintendo makes a Mario game and they fire everyone that made it. You know what I mean? Like that's the importance of Prince of Persia. And I know it's not owned by Ubisoft or whatever as a franchise or whatever, but still, it's like to see a game of that genealogy be a reason like all these people are getting fired. And it was a great game. It's fucked.
Have some respect.
Exactly. And I think they did justice to the license. And they're great developers that should be used for other things in the future, not just thrown out because they didn't make enough money. According to some spreadsheet that some fucking bigwig made that is pissed that he has to eat chicken instead of steak this week.
I'm sure he's still eating steak. Like I don't think their amount of money is changing at all. It's just like, oh, let's here you go in this other team and make a fucking make a game for service sort of thing. Like do like an online multiplayer thing because that's what we think sell or whatever. Go get to work on Call of Duty or whatever. They don't do those games, right? But somebody does. Something like that, go do another.
Their
shitty thing.
Assassin's Creed, I think, is their like bread and butter.
Yeah, go make Assassin's Creed 30. Go get working on that. I'm sure there's 30 of them out by now. But I guess they wanted it to sell 15 million and it only sold 1 million, which I thought selling 1 million was pretty good, but I don't know. What do I know?
Maybe if it wasn't so buggy.
Yeah, it was pretty buggy from the front, but it got really good reviews and a lot of people really liked it. I liked it too until it bugged out on me. But speaking of bugging out, why don't we bug out on this episode? And
One more thing worth mentioning. And that's it. Super Nintendo World Orlando opens in May 2025.
oh, in Florida? Ugh.
We're all going to Florida together.
Ugh,
Yep.
no.
I think that'd be a cool trip as a podcast.
Yeah, but it's in other
I'd do it.
places that are less toxic. We go to California. California's cooler than
Yeah,
Florida.
it's further away.
There's less chance we'd get shot.
Cheaper.
I mean, it'll be the biggest Super Nintendo World that there is.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth going for that. I would go.
I fucking hate Florida.
We're planning on hitting it up in Osaka when we go, but to Japan next year. But I still think it's worth considering going to the domestic version.
Well, we got about 6 months to argue about it. So
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm not gonna be able to afford it in the way things are going now.
I haven't been to Florida since 1988.
I don't think I've been to Florida since 2015, but I'm not talking about why I was.
I
there
win.
last.
I went last year.
I win.
You win because you've been there the least.
I even live there.
So I agree with that. No, I don't want to go to Florida for anything. But yeah, that's been this episode. We can be done now.
Sorry, Floridians.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a lot of Florida listeners on here. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the breakdown.
If you are listening, please send us an alligator story. I want to hear it.
Don't send us an actual alligator. They're scary. Anyway, yeah, that's been episode 444 of NintenDomain. Thanks for listening. You can find me on Twitter at Nintendo_domain and Jeremy at JMaxStack. And you can find NintenDomain on Blue Sky and Facebook and twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast, which I actually can't play Yakuza Kiwami because it's not out. I thought it was coming out at 11. It's not out.
Ooh.
I am.
This is gonna be one of those 6 a.m. things.
I don't know. It's not here yet as of right now. So that's we could read. Yep, still says pre-order, so it's still not out yet. Damn it! I was wanting to play it right after this episode.
You don't have the right tattoos to access it early.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pricey tattoos. Yeah, check that out, and I'll be playing. We've been playing weekly Fortnite stuff, but I also been playing my own stuff too on the stream, so you can check that out. And also at youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast on there. And yeah, if you'd like to support the show, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. The X Pack should be up soon for this month, and then the WART radio will be up by the weekend, so you can check that out if you're on the $1 or $5 level, and you can get the regular show early and ad free and all that fun stuff on there. So check it out and support the show if you like listening to us. And that's that. We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jeremy Mikowski.
I'm John Knitter.
And thanks everybody for listening. See you next time.
See ya.
We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jim Brukowski.
I'm Jabber Knitter.
I was pretty sure you said like Jabroni Mikowski is what I heard.
Let me try again.
I'm Jabroni Brick. What happened there?